Hey YouTube, welcome back, I'm Maury, and today we're having a little fun and exploring some of the features we really need to see added to Animal Crossing New Horizons, or at the very least, see them in the next game. But first, if you do enjoy Animal Crossing videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, as well as the latest Animal Crossing news as and when it happens. And if you're feeling super generous, please leave a like, it's super helpful, and also helps other Animal Crossing fans find these videos. Now, Animal Crossing New Horizons is rammed with content. When you think about it, the sheer number of customizable items is just ridiculous really. There is thousands of items, and the 2.0 update expanded this even more with the DLC. But with that said, Animal Crossing New Horizons does still lack a certain charm in some areas, and there is definitely a few features that if ever added to the game would be brilliant and vastly improve the game. Now, I don't know whether we'll ever see any new updates. I like to think we will eventually, and we'll certainly see more patches and bug fixes at some point, so we can consider everything we're about to highlight as a kind of wish list that pretty much everyone, I think, would love to see. So here are 5 features we still need in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Number 1. Cliff Bridges. Now, I would say one of the coolest features Nintendo could ever add to the game is bridges that instead of being placed over water are placed over cliffs. This is something that just baffles me as to why Nintendo never thought to include this. Like normal bridges, cliff bridges could link 2 separate cliff areas or levels together, forming a bridge between the two and a tunnel or an underpass underneath for the level below. We can already hop between 2 cliffs. Why not add a bridge and connect them? It seems so obvious, and honestly I don't think this would be too difficult to add, and aesthetically at least would add so much character to the game. Plus it would give those of us who aren't as creative with designing something extra to play around with. But what do you think about adding these kinds of bridges? Do you like the idea, and do you think this is something we could see one day either in this game or the next? Let us know in the comments. Number 2. Custom Cliffs. Now, sticking with the cliffs theme for a moment, there is real potential in Animal Crossing New Horizons to be able to change or customize the types of cliffs we can construct on the New Horizons island. Cliffs have been a thing in Animal Crossing since the beginning. They're super iconic actually, and being able to change how these look would be awesome. This could work similar to how we can lay sand tiles on the grass, for example, and construct a sand path, but instead we could switch up the terraforming tools to build different types of cliffs. Now, this isn't actually as far-fetched as it may sound, because the DLC and the 2.0 update introduced new types of cliffs. Even on Captain's Island we have more of a tropical looking cliff that appears to be made more of sand than clay or whatever the normal ones are made of. So imagine putting on your construction hat and selecting sand cliffs and terraforming different types on your island. It would be pretty cool, and again probably not too difficult to add. I imagine most of the code required to do something like this already exists within the game. So different types of cliffs added to New Horizons or even introduced in the next game is a must. Number 3. Bulk crafting. Now, this is a pretty obvious one and something we've all been asking for the longest time. Bulk crafting. Basically, it would really change the game if we had the ability to craft items in bulk, assuming we had enough materials. There's been tons of talk about this since launch, so we won't go into too much detail, but it would be a huge quality of life adjustment if we could just save a bit of time crafting things we need 100 of. The Animal Crossing team have streamlined so much in this version of Animal Crossing, such as digging up full-grown trees, for example, so it's very strange this hasn't been added yet. But with that said, if we did eventually get an update, even if it was just a patch, if anything we mentioned today could get added, I truly think it could be bulk crafting. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. After all, they've listened to community feedback in the past, so maybe. Number 4. Nooks Cranny. Now, another super obvious one that personally I truly feel New Horizons need is of course another Nooks upgrade. We've got a couple of Nooks stores in New Horizons, with each one offering more than the previous, but they just don't compare to the Nooks upgrade from past games. And again, personally, if I had to pinpoint one thing that New Horizons is still missing, it's being able to upgrade to a ginormous multi-story Nooks store. Part of the charm of Animal Crossing has has always been that progression and the excitement of trying to upgrade the shop so you get access to more items at once. And every version of Animal Crossing, with the exception of New Horizons, has at least 4 upgrades. New Leaf even has 5, and honestly it takes 4 or 5 months of continuous playing to be able to unlock it. Animal Crossing New Horizons only has 2 Nooks Crannies, so it's a little bit disappointing. Now I will say that Nooks Crannies in New Horizons does hold far more items than most of their counterparts, but seeing even one more Nooks upgrade, maybe with an upstairs and maybe adding some exclusive furniture to work towards, like in New Leaf, would be something really awesome. And even if they decided to add it now, I think it would be a welcomed feature. Number 5, Celeste in the Museum. Now, I think we can all agree Celeste is super adorable, and honestly, she needs a bigger role in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Don't get me wrong, it's super fun to see her every few weeks, if you're even lucky enough to find her, but compared to her roles in past games, she could definitely offer more on the New Horizons island. Now, the obvious would be Celeste running some kind of shop or facility inside the museum with blathers. In the past, Celeste has run the observatory, which is a facility that allows players to create constellations with the stars in the night sky and basically help players with stargazing. It wasn't a massive feature, but still a nice activity. More recently, in Animal Crossing New Leaf, Celeste runs the museum shop, which again wasn't massive but a nice addition, as well as the exhibition area, which opened up 4 extra rooms you could decorate or use for storage. I think having seen the roost added to New Horizons recently and its location in the museum, something like adding Celeste or at the very least another room opposite just makes sense. I like things symmetrical as much as the next person, so please Nintendo. Anyway, there has been data mine hints in the past surrounding a museum shop and a Nooks Cranny upgrade for that matter, so at some point Nintendo was at least tinkering with the idea. Again, adding this would be a very welcome feature, and whether it was just a shop for Celeste's items or just extra storage she rented out, it would be awesome and add some of the classic charm back to the game. So there we have it, that's 5 of the top features we still need to see added to Animal Crossing New Horizons, or at the very least return in the next Animal Crossing game, whatever that may be. But what do you think about cliff bridges or Nooks upgrades? And do you think it's possible Nintendo could one day surprise us with an update? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, if you made it to the end of the video, be sure to comment bridge just to let me know you did. That would be super awesome. And as always, thank you so much to all the patrons and channel members for supporting this content. And until next time, have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.